Hello, my name is Mary Winsett, and I'm going to do my problem solution speech on Sudafed. Um, I work at a pharmacy. I have worked in pharmacy for over 10 years, and Sudafed has changed a lot from the time from when I started to now. Currently, you can't just buy Sudafed over the counter. They have moved it behind the counter, and you have to show a photo ID. And I don't know if you're aware of this. We call it the meth check program. And what it is now you have to show a photo ID, and your information is entered into the computer system, and it tracks how much Sudafed you have purchased in the last 30 days. And also there's limitations on how much Sudafed you can buy. Whereas, used to, there was no limitations and you could just buy it as needed. Um, and a problem with the meth check is, number one, it's time consuming for us to stop what we're doing to go and, ask somebody, because they can't even like look at the boxes because they're behind the counter. So we have to go through all the boxes and figure out which one they want. Do they want the 12-hour? Do they want one that has Claritin in it? Do they want one that has Zyrtec in it? Do they want the Mucinex D? It's very time consuming. And and it's time consuming for the customer as well, which I don't think that's fair either way. It's stress on both sides of it. Stress for us as working in the pharmacy, and stress for the consumer who wants just to buy the product and they can't anymore. Um, and MedCheck is, it hasn't proven to have any kind of like big results in Kentucky anyways. I've done some research, and in 2008 was when they first implemented this MedCheck system, and the meth lab incidence in Kentucky rose. It didn't decline. They found 743 meth labs in like 2009, and then in 2010 there were over 1,000. So the system's not even slowing down, the drug dealers. Um, and we've got two states in the United States that have already passed laws making Sudafed prescription only, which I know it sounds, there are bad sides to that too, because then you'll have to go to the doctor's office to get a prescription, which costs money and time. But in these two states that have already passed these laws, one state found 10 meth labs the whole year. And so, this solution has worked in these two states. But, when those states only pass the law there, the drug dealers just branch out and make problems for the surrounding states. They just move to wherever else they can get the medicine. So that's a problem too. Another, problem is they brought out this new product. It's called Sudafed PE, which is phenylephrine, and it's supposed to be, taking the place of Sudafed, and it doesn't work nearly as well as what the Sudafed product does. And we hardly ever sell it. When it first came out, yeah, we sold it because people were, interested in trying something different, that they didn't have to go through all these hoops to, to buy medicine. But they've realized, it doesn't work near as well as what the Sudafed does when they're sick. So, that's another failed attempt, which, it was a good try. But, one of my solutions is making the, Sudafed prescription only, which I know it costs us money. But really, you go to the doctor once a year anyways for a checkup, which you're supposed to. And, you could probably ask at the checkup, say, hey, doc, I need a prescription for Sudafed in case I need it, because I have seasonal allergies, whatever. And that prescription will be good for a year. So, it won't expire. And another solution would, I know Pfizer, the drug company, has reformulated the Sudafed to where they've added some kind of additive into it to where it makes it impossible for meth users to cook it down and use it to make their meth. They did this with OxyContin. OxyContin was a time-release drug, or it is a time-release drug. It releases over 12 hours. Well, what these drug dealers were doing, they were melting it down and injecting the pill in one dose and taking out the time release, so they got all that medicine in one dose and they were getting high off of it. And so what the makers of OxyContin did was they reformulated it. They put an additive in there to where when they started cooking it up, it's gels. it doesn't liquefy, it just gels up, so they can't draw it up in a syringe. They can't get high off of it anymore. And so that's what they're doing now with Sudafed. I just saw it on the news the other night that they're getting really close to releasing this product. So I'm really excited about that. And hopefully maybe, that's another good answer to, the selling of Sudafed, and put it back over the counter to where the drug dealers can't use it, for drug uses. And, that way we're not punished anymore for what drug dealers have done. And, this meth is a big problem everywhere. I mean, just all the children involved and stuff like that. We have to figure out a good solution for everybody that's going to work. So if they don't come out with the drug that's going to block it from being broken down to be cooked with, I think the prescription only status is really going to help. And it'll help us in the pharmacy too, because, like I said, we're already crunched for time and it's a stressful environment anyways. And taking this off our hands would really, really help. So there's my speech, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.